Welcome to today's What Moved the Market show. I'm your host Prem. It's Monday, November 10th, 2025, and here is everything you need to know as the markets close for today. What a day for the Indian markets. After 3 consecutive days of losses, we finally got our bounce back. The Sensex surged ahead by 319 points to close at 83,535, a gain of 0.38%. The Nifty 50 climbed 82 points to settle at 25,574, up 0.32%. Both indices staged a nice recovery after hitting their session lows mid-morning, with intraday momentum building significantly toward the close. The rupee held relatively steady at 88.66 against the dollar, hovering within its recent range with no major breakouts today. The currency market remained calm as investors focused on equity strength. The overall sentiment turned distinctly positive, with value buying emerging after last week's sharp correction, and the broader market backed up the headline indices, with mid-cap shares jumping 0.47% and small-cap stocks finishing flat after touching losses earlier. On the bullish side, Infosys absolutely stole the show, surging nearly 3% to become the top gainer in the Nifty 50 pack. Bajaj Finance followed closely, with a 1.88% jump ahead of its Q2 results announcement tomorrow. HCL Technologies rose 1.82%, Coal India gained 1.48%, and Asian Paints added 1.46%. All this buying in IT and financials clearly reflected the relief that the US government shutdown could end soon. In the mid-cap space, National Aluminium Company blazed higher with a 9.61% surge after reporting a 36.71% annual growth in standalone net profit to 1,429.94 crore in the quarter. That's exceptional performance. FSN E-commerce Ventures, or Nykaa, jumped 5.75% on festive season optimism. On the flip side, Trent fell a sharp 7.42% despite posting an 11% year-on-year rise in net profit to 373 crore. Goldman Sachs trimmed earnings estimates citing subdued consumer sentiment and weak like-for-like growth. Max Health, Tata Consumer Products and Apollo Hospitals also finished in red, suggesting selective profit-taking in defensive stocks. Most notably, today saw the listing of Lenskart, the massive 7,278 crore IPO. The eyewear retailer debuted at 390 on the BSE and 395 on the NSE, both below the 402 rupee issue price. The stock slipped as much as 11.5% intraday to 355 rupees, but recovered to close up just 0.32% at 403.30 rupees, making it the weakest large IPO performer of 2025. Investors remain cautious over its steep 55 times FY28 pre-India ASEV EBITDA valuation and competitive pressures. The Nifty 50 found solid support near its 25,525 level, right at the rising channel support that has guided the uptrend since March. This held perfectly, triggering short covering and renewed buying into the close. Resistance continues to hover around the 25,800 range, with the intraday high today touching 25,653. For the Bank Nifty, support held near 57,300, while the index closed at 57,937, essentially flat on the day despite the broader market strength. Resistance for Bank Nifty remains around 58,100, a level that needs convincing acceptance for further upside. Information technology was the star performer today, gaining nearly 2% to snap a 6-session losing streak. That one-day relief buying on US shutdown hopes clearly favored IT companies with heavy US revenue exposure. Metals followed, continuing their run with solid gains driven by improved sentiment and commodity strength. Financials also finished comfortably in green, bolstered by bank and NBFC rallies. On the weaker end, telecom, FMCG and consumer durables finished lower, with telecom shedding around 0.5% as profit booking kicked in after recent rallies. Precious metals shine bright today. Gold is trading tad below $4,100. Silver followed the tailwinds, climbing 2.66% to $49.74. Both metals benefited from a softer US dollar and global safe haven demand. Crude oil remained stable around $63 to $64 per barrel. The dominant geopolitical development driving sentiment today was the progress toward resolving the US government shutdown. As mentioned, this created an immediate positive ripple through Asian markets and into Indian equities, particularly benefiting IT and exports-oriented sectors. The potential reopening would allow delayed economic data releases, including crucial inflation reports that have been held up, providing clearer visibility on Fed policy trajectory. This certainty lifted risk appetite significantly. No major new geopolitical tensions emerged today, affecting India directly, though global attention remains on broader US policy uncertainties and their potential impact on trade with India. Looking at the charts, Nifty 50 continues to move within its rising channel pattern established since March, and today's bounce near support confirms the broader uptrend remains intact despite recent weakness. The index is currently consolidating between 25,500 and 26,000. For tomorrow, we'd expect the index to test the 25,800 resistance zone. A convincing close above 26,000 could propel it toward 26,300, while a slip below 25,300 might see mild profit booking toward 25,150. Bank Nifty presents a slightly more cautious picture, consolidating within a narrow downward channel while the broader uptrend continues. The index needs to reclaim and sustain above 58,100 for a fresh impulse higher toward 58,500 to 58,800. Failure to do so keeps shorts comfortable with support remaining near 57,250. The overall technical setup suggests markets are in healthy consolidation mode rather than reversing, with positive global cues providing tailwinds. However, traders should remain alert to any deterioration in US shutdown resolution talks or unexpected economic data surprises once the government reopens. Here's your key actionable insight for tomorrow. Use this bounce in IT stocks on shutdown resolution hopes as a reference, not necessarily a buy signal. We've seen IT gain nearly 2% today, breaking a 6-session losing streak, but broader momentum remains cautious. If you're an IT investor, consider this as a potential profit-taking opportunity if your positions are significantly in the green from lows, or a level to average down if you're underweight. Watch the Nifty 50 hold above 25,500 tomorrow. That's your confirmation that the uptrend is back in play. Let's see if the US House vote on Wednesday brings more clarity and sustained buying. Thank you all for tuning in to What Moved the Market. Please send in your questions, investment queries, or stocks you'd like us to analyze to our community channels. We'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for tomorrow morning's wrap and send in your questions. Until then, happy trading and investing. This is Prem, signing off. Good evening.